Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Now, this one is going to be going over, I guess, why outperformance in coins is very important. So, first things first, I think we should go over this is just that Bitcoin leads the market, okay? So, when Bitcoin goes down, as you can see, this is the daily chart, we had a pretty decent day, minus 3%. When Bitcoin goes down, the rest of the market usually follows. Now, the coins that are outperforming, the ones that are performing best recently, tend to not go down as much when BTC goes down, and they tend to go up even more than Bitcoin when Bitcoin goes up. So, let us look at Ondo. And first of all, let's circle this region. Of course, these are only tendencies. It's not always going to happen, but let's circle this region. Okay. Now let's check the Ondo chart. Look at this outperformance. So it would be about there, I guess. Yeah, about that. You get the point though. Obviously, Ondo had this all-time highs here. If it was following Bitcoin exactly, it would have just side traded, or rather, it would have done something more like this, and then up, and then here, like we're doing now. But that's not what happened. Instead, Ondo has been an outperformer this whole period, really. Of course, Bitcoin was performing well in this period as well, but compared to the rest of the market, let's talk about like Ondo versus Ethereum. It has obviously been outperforming in this period. Now, in this period, it continues the outperformance. And that is why we want to look for the outperforming coins because they tend to continue to outperform. And that's what I like to say. Outperformers continue to outperform, underperformers generally continue to underperform. Of course, this depends on the situation, and that's why I always specify generally. So you could see Celestia. Let's go on the weekly chart even. And no, maybe daily chart zoomed out is probably best. We obviously had this massive outperformance period from here. I mean, we were at $2 and we went up to 20. Massive returns there. But now we obviously switched to underperformance. So the question is, how do you usually play this? Well, you want to look specifically at the daily trend, and we don't panic until we lose the daily trend. So arguably, you could say that. Sorry, let's look at the uptrend. So when we say continue on the trend, this is what a trend usually looks like. Okay? As soon as we do something like this, that's when we broke the trend. Because we should have instead continued going up to break this high. And then when we come down, it should be above this low right here. I hope that helps. So with TIA, we'll use a live example. Obviously here, we're just side trading. An airdrop had happened, so obviously people are going to take profits. We side trade. Then we boom. Now, arguably, we go to the 4-hour chart. Arguably, we lost the 4-hour trend, which is here. We actually came down and we did that. And then we came up and we created a lower high. Now, on the 4-hour chart, it almost definitely looks like we lost the trend. But when we go to the daily chart, arguably this was not a significant enough low to consider it as losing the trend, and we ended up continuing up. Then here, arguably we lost the trend as well, although this time it was just with a wick, so it doesn't really count. And then finally, I would say we probably lost the trend. Now this comes with experience, I'd say. But we arguably lost the trend when we broke below here, I'd say. That's probably the key low that we didn't want to break below. And you can see here, sorry, let's take the magnet off. We broke below it, we closed below it, and then we created a lower high and I guess a lower high there as well. So that was the signal of the trend shift, and we have continued down since. So now TIA has underperformance happening. Ever since we've broken the trend, we've had significant underperformance. So definitely use this to your advantage. The coins that are outperforming, like even Bitcoin here was outperforming, expect them to continue outperforming. I could show you so many cases of this. I love this example. This bull run was just crazy, the last cycle. We have the outperformance really here. You know, it's basically only up. And then what happens? I mean, we continue up. And then you think, oh, we may have topped. You know, we broke all-time highs and we're up maybe 10%. I guess that's not significant enough to think it's the top, but maybe we end up going up here. So then you think, oh, this is the top, surely. I mean, we're up over 100% from last time all-time highs. And then what ends up happening? We just continued up. That's it. We just continued outperforming. Now, this is amazing, right? Because you can make a lot of money off of this. But this also scares me. Why does it scare me? Because I'm a big meme coin person. Why am I a big meme coin person? Because so far this bull run, they've been outperforming. So, generally in a market, when you want to catch the outperformers because it's easier to make money from them, you want to. Sorry, where was I going with this? I guess I was going to explain just the fact that meme coins can potentially get to insane highs like altcoins did last bull run. But it's scary because let's say you own WIF. Right now, what's its market cap? It's got to be very high. Probably 2 billion, maybe 2.5 billion. Let's assume 1 billion coins are in circulation. 2.5 billion, right? Let's say we see WIF outperform. What if it goes to a $30 billion market cap? This is something that would make people rich, as you can obviously know. You know, some people are in it at 0 point whatever, a $20 million market cap. If it were to outperform as it has been, you know, it pulls something similar to what alts did last bull run, then we could have some crazy numbers for the meme coins. That's assuming it does outperform the whole bull run, which is pretty unlikely, but it's possible. Always something to consider. I'm showing you Cardano because of the fact that you could see this outperformance. I mean, if you were in ADA Cardano at 0.1 and it goes to $1, you make a 10x, you'd probably be thinking like, oh my gosh, that's the top. That's crazy. But then it ends up going to $3. You know, you would have got a 30x. So crazy numbers can happen. They do happen often. There are so many more examples. Maybe I know sushi's not the best example, but it's one that we could take a look at. Similar thing with sushi, right? You know, we get all the way down to 0.5 and then we absolutely boom to 20 plus. Very crazy stuff. Now, these alts I'm also showing because they are currently out underperforming. So if you haven't watched my video on altcoins and why I think so far they'll do bad, it's basically just that underperformance. So far they've been underperforming, pretty bearish overall, unless we see them start outperforming, in which case I'll definitely switch my thoughts. But until that happens, I'm a meme coin and a Bitcoin maxi, I guess. Very, very interesting stuff. Now, Pepe also was outperforming, and this goes back to what I was saying at the very start about how outperformers tend to not go down on the days that Bitcoin goes down as much. So if we look back 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago, June 7th, and we go to Pepe on June 7th, we obviously had a pretty significant dip, 10%, right? And Bitcoin was 2%. Now, if you look at every altcoin, it actually did go down pretty hard on that day, so it's to be expected. But now you look on a day where Bitcoin is down 3%, and Pepe is actually up 6%. That's a good, obviously a good sign, and it's likely due to its outperformance as well as technicals. I actually didn't notice this, but it looks like we've got, this resistance range that we tapped into. It changed as a support. Actually, it might be good to look for an entry on Pepe here. This is interesting. If we get something like this, something like that. With, sorry, Ondo, we should check. Similar thing. But here you could actually see the outperformance on the down day with the massive wick. But then we obviously underperformed just a little bit. Pendle, um, kind of similar situation, is kind of getting destroyed as well as Bitcoin. But it has been an outperformer, so I've actually taken a long here. The invalidation is below the blue line, or daily slash 4 hour closes below this line. We've got fibs that are beautiful on this. This is like the best Fibonacci's I've ever seen. Look at that. Lines up perfectly with our two support points. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys learned something. Just one more example, I guess. Solana, absolute boomer this cycle so far. Outperformance so far continues to outperform. And that's generally what we want to think until we lose the daily trend. Now, on Solana, you might want to look at it as a weekly. Until we lose the weekly trend, we're bullish because this is a more like a longer term one. Longer term outperformance. As you can see, we had some underperform. Well, actually, this wasn't even underperformance, was it? I'm not sure what it was. It depends what Bitcoin did. But obviously, we lost the daily trend here, and then we quickly switched. Um, I cannot believe I missed this long. That let's also check the Fibonacci's on this, because I wonder if it would have been, yeah, it would have been literally perfect on the 0.705 Fibonacci's. Amazing. And I meant to catch that, but I actually didn't. I think I forgot to set limits. I think that's what happened because we broke above here and it was a perfect break for a higher high, obviously signaling higher. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys learned something.